We've got 5 cars supporting the WRA here tonight. This is a blast from the past. First car out, that is the number 5 machine out of Santa Barbara, California. 77 years young driver, that is Bob Foote, with a V8 350 cubic inch Chevrolet Sprint car owned by Bob Foote. It is a tube frame and cage with aluminum fuel tank and tail suspension and a crossbar. It is torsion bar suspension. Bought from Greg Dirks of Palo Verdes back in 2020. It's a Canadian Burt 2-speed chassis, or 2-speed transmission, excuse me. He replaced the old school in and out box. Provides 2 speeds and a starter for that number 5 machine. Also out there, you see that blue and white machine coming down that front straightaway. That is the number 10 machine from Victorville, California, 56 years old. This is Mike Foote. So the father-son duo. Mike Foote in that number 10 car. That is a 1960s era chassis by Edmunds. Mike's been racing that car for 9 years. It's got a 350 cubic inch small block Chevy underneath the hood, being pushed off down the front straightaway. That is the number 75 machine of David Gilkinson, as a Cassie Gilkinson crew chief. Not quite sure, but it's a late 50s, early 60s car. 3-inch tube steel chassis. Buggy springs and front torsion bar rear end. 355 cubic inch Hillborn injected, running on methanol. So big time power plant underneath the hood of that 75 machine for David Gilkinson. See David wicking it up right there for your race fans. Number 33 machine, that is Tobin Hammock. A late 70s Gambler chassis. Another 350 cubic inch power plant. Very popular power plant underneath the hood of that 70s Gambler chassis for Tobin Hammock. The Western Racing Association is a group of individuals dedicated to the preservation, display, and exhibition of vintage open-wheel racing. These includes midgets, sprint cars, and track roadsters that were very popular in Southern California, as well as throughout the rest of the country. That is the Western Racing Association, based out of right here in Santa Maria, California. Gonna bring them up to speed here for our hot lap session. The Western Racing Association. So these cars do not have transponders in them, so we're not able to get the lap times for them, but out there having a blast indeed. I think the fast car out on track might be that 33 machine, trying to do a little work, get around the outside of the number 5 entry. That 33 of Tobin Hammock out of Santa Barbara, California. Gets around the number 5 down the back straightaway as they came to the checkered, and that will do it for our first round. Try to get these cars out about 3 times for you guys, 3 or 4 times if we can throughout the program. And it looks like our next division out on track, that will be the 305 sprint cars. So the IMCA Race Savers, the 305 is going to make their way out on track. They got hot lap session and single car qualifying here tonight before we get into our racing program. So next out on track, the 305 sprints. good little battle right there coming off of turns 3 and 4. These cars do not have number 10 and the number 40. Battling, that is Mike Foote and Seth Hammond, the 56-year-old trying to get by the 79-year-old. Actually, the 79-year-old trying to get around the 56-year-old. Looking out there, ripping around that number 40 machine. That is the newest car out on the track. That is a 1984 Gambler chassis. You can really see how times have changed. That 33 machine, that might be the most familiar looking hot rod, that 1970s Gambler chassis. Whoa, get a little crossed up down off of turn number 4. Still not afraid to lay the wood to it, that number 75 machine. Dave Gilkinson putting on a show for you fans. The number 10, he is hanging it out of Mike Foote. Looks like we're going to get the white flag this time by. We will do so coming off of turn number 4. The 33 machine of Tobin Hammock. Safety has come a long way from the days in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Still see no arm guards on some of these cars. Same basic principle. You still see the stagger in the chassis, the big right rear tires, the smaller left rear tires. As we come to the final checkered flag lap here, finishing out the 75 of Dave Gilkinson. That will be the WRA Sprint cars at the Santa Maria Speedway. We'll show those cars a couple more times through the nights as we get ready for our next event. Coming out will be your dwarf car heat race number 1. The WRA, the blast from the past, out here at Santa Maria Speedway. WRA is the Western Racing Association. It's a group of individuals dedicated to the preservation and display of exhibition of vintage oval racing. And Santa Maria Speedway is glad to have them as they're out there really not holding back. Look at that, getting all kinds of crossed up over there in turns 3 and 4. That's that 33 machine. Oh, all kinds of crossed up. That's the 40. 40, that is a 1984 Gambler chassis. Piloted by 79-year-old Seth Hammond. 79 years young, out there wheeling a WRA sprint car. Right next to that's a 75 machine from Goleta, California. Dave Gilkinson. As we're giving the WRA 10 laps in duration for their exhibition here at Santa Maria Speedway. 3rd time out on track for the WRA. Bob Foote in the number 5 machine from Santa Barbara, California. Mike Foote from Victorville, 56 years of age. Driving the number 10 machine, the 33. That is the Santa Barbara native of Tobin Hammock. The 40. That is Seth Hammond, 79 years young. And at 70 years of age, driving the number 75 machine from Goleta, California, that is Dave Gilkinson. The number 5 machine, owned by Bob Foote and John Willis out of Santa Barbara, California. Tube frame and chassis with the aluminum fuel tank. In the tail end of that machine, suspension is a cross torsion bar. Bought from Greg Dirks of Palo Verdes back in 2020. The number 40 machine. It's a 1984 Gambler chassis. Has a 1975 6-cylinder power plant underneath the hood running on methanol. Car competed in USAC and CRA races from 1984 to 1997 in Southern California. The car was reworked for the VRA by Keith Lomas of Ohio. Seth Hammond has extensive land speed racing experience at Bonneville Salt Flats in Utah, has set multiple records of over 300 miles per hour That's the driver, Seth Hammonds from Santa Barbara, California, driving the number 40. The 33 machine. It's from the late 70s, a Gambler chassis. 350 cubic inch Chevrolet power plant underneath the hood, where Tobin has been racing for 3 years with the WRA. Tobin Hammock in the 33. Mike Foote in the 1960s Airy chassis by Ed Linz. Mike's been racing that car for 9 years with the WRA. That's the number 10 of Mike Foote. And that will do it for your WRA race exhibition here at the Santa Maria Speedway.